Okay, sketch 86. I am admittingly a little under the weather, so this one might be a bit of a quick sketch. And I was thinking we could just use one of these improv creations, these old sets, to start off from. Okay, wow. It's a crazy intense wall of sound. And if I remember correctly, this one was made to basically just be one clip that controlled a bunch of crap inside of this rack. So let's let her rip. Okay, wow, off the bat, it's like definitely a lot going on in there. That's practically a finished piece. All right, we're done. Yeah. That's a cop-out. I gotta at least try to manipulate this some. All right, let's solo these chains. And I think we are getting our pitch shifts from this thing. Or not. Sometimes it's tough to really track down why or where a thing is happening in your project. Not the funnest part of the gig. Maybe this is it. Are we modulating this? I got lucky. Cool. Let's try playing with the pitch of this a little bit, see what we can... Cool, okay. Just stretching out some sections here, trying to give ourselves a little more runway. And I guess 16 is a good, solid spot, I think, for this loop. Now, honestly, we've got a lot of... well, I'm actually surprised our CPU isn't more, considering that we have a lot of things happening here just inside this one rack. I think if we split these out and we have one of these per, things are going to look a lot better. Let's give it a shot. So here we'll get rid of everything but our drone. This one, we'll duplicate this 4 times. And then here, we'll get rid of everything but the kick. Here, everything but the hi-hat. A little bit of savings as each one of these gets its own CPU core. Let's try playing with this pitch here. And I'm going to go ahead and tuck all of these inside of this. And let's get this one put here so we don't use it again. Or wait, did I pull this one? B, I can't remember at this point now. Hey, I think that was the one. All right, so maybe A. Okay, this one, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just have to go back and rewatch this video to see what I did, just in case. Not trusting my judgments currently. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of that. Now, I definitely want to mess with the tempo. For now, we'll leave it pretty crazy low. I think this is our kick. Whoops. Yep. It's just one of those days. Sometimes you're just gonna, like, you know, screw a lot of things up. Self-forgiveness, folks. That's what this sketch is all about. Okay, cool. Let's try our hybrid reverb. I did this last time and it kind of had some cool results. And we'll pull in the sample Acaria. Yeah, at this point, we almost, you know, don't even really need much inside of this if we just want to use that drone. Oh, there's really not much happening inside of this. I stand corrected again. There's actually quite a bit. Let's see, is this really volume only? Okay, we can just use this to push up, I think, the volume. Cool. I guess these are the hi-hats. Oh, it looks like these are the hi-hats. Well, that's funny. This sounds a lot more like a hi-hat, I guess. Just call this perks. Let's take a look at what is making this kick happen. Looks like we've got our noise generation via the crackle section here. Ah, that's where we're getting a lot of bass. And I think we're automating this volume to kind of make these envelopes icy. Pretty simple stuff. Let's try a tremolo. Not really a kick so much as a, I mean, I'm hearing some kick sounds in there, of course, but all the generative stuff going on is definitely let's see, what do we have here? We're going to modulate this also. I'm actually totally confused as to why. I see. So there's a lot more happening in there than I was seeing. Interesting. Okay. I see. So this thing is not a bad kick maker. If you were to sample the output of this, you'd have some, I think, some okay kind of lo-fi, dirty, you know, boxy kicks. Okay, so let's see about this ambient stuff here. Give it some gain. Very lo-fi. Yeah, from the last sketch I remember we had some sort of lo-fi tones coming through. Okay, I think I'm much more interested in some kind of tempo automation happening. Let's just really abstract the beat. What do you say? Okay. Excuse me. Let's try, yes, our tempo 2 and... I think the auto dial worked pretty good if I remember, or maybe it didn't. One of these did not play well with this. Let's give it a shot. Alright, now let's try this one. And switch it up from the other auto dial, and let's try mapping to here and hope for the best. We want to turn this thing off, I think. Oops, nope. That's 0. Oh, we mapped to that, okay. Yeah, I forget this mapping on auto dial is a little wonky. Yeah, see, we gotta click that button and then hit map. Cool, it looks like up here, it's working, so. I forgot to increase this to something. Let's just say 112. Cool, and I think our last step is to pull that down so we get much bigger jumps. Tempo. Now, let's see what happens if we... $178 was the previous? Cool, so I think we could do a switch between different hybrid reverbs. This may be too much CPU, but we'll see. Let's create another chain and this one down. And let's try a third one. Now that I'm listening to this go nuts, let's see, we've got, yeah, this is where I think it's kind of going nuts on us. So let's be just one little spot where it goes nuts. And if we get lucky enough to have this thing flip right at this point, then yeah. Cool, okay. Do love this auto dial, as wonky as it is. Okay, so let's map this chain here. And let's just say, where is that? 1, 2... Let's just say 1 to 3. That 0 starting out as at the bottom is a little confusing sometimes. But now we've got a readout here that's a lot easier to handle. And then let's map, whoops, from this one. Cool, and we could also try to play with the decays a little bit. Now I think each one is 20 seconds. It's nice that all our mappings duplicated to each of these chains that we duplicated, so. Okay, let's get a auto filter in there, because I think now this is going to be moot as we're pitching around. I think I want to try something where we double up these auto filters, and we'll make the second one a high pass, and we'll put a tremolo after the high pass so that it, you know, the high end that comes through will be a little more like modulated dynamically. And we can also put a We could put a little delay with offset to left, right time. And let's get some filter going there. It's a little more lo-fi when you filter things out. Try stopping the transport. Yes, okay. I have a new mission now. Let's get some of that transport on and off going on. Haven't done that in a while. Definitely sounding weird. It's nice sometimes to just take an old track and just start really trashing it, you know, messing with it. I've been surprised sometimes at what cool stuff has come out of that. Okay, let's find our transport pause. Yes. And let's get an auto dial mapped to that. Looks like it's doing the right thing. And let's make sure we don't have any smoothing, because I think that'll just reset it back to 0 every time, which we do not want. And let's... Actually, let me just try recording it first and see what kind of luck I get there. Interesting, this jumps to 111, but then it goes back to 405, so let's see what's happening inside of here. Just restarting, maybe? Let's actually look at a different, so maybe some automation. Don't think... Yeah, it seems to be sort of resetting, I guess. And that may be because, let's see here, yeah, we have too much of this in-between stuff, so let's clean that up. If I remember correctly, our transport, it resets to 0 if we have too much activity. Tricky, but this one should be easy. And I think I think this should slow it down. Let's see, we might have just lost our... Yeah, let's get rid of this. This is too active. So I'm actually going to remove this for a second. Awesome. Okay, so now that this is... Alright, let's try this one more time. That's 0. DMAP. And let's... Alright, so it may just be the way this mapping is working, I'm not sure, but let's see if we just draw something in up there. Hit play. keep an eye on this here just to make sure. All right, so I think if I remember, the LFO MIDI worked using the bin, and as long as it doesn't go too fast, I think this should do it. Oh, whoa, that's way fast. Let's see if we can get this to not reset. Oh, that's going crazy. Yeah, I think the faster this thing goes, so maybe let's try. Now I'm going to, this is just madness, I tell you. So let's demap from that, click on that, and then map, device on. It's interesting what happens when this particular sketch just stops, because we have a lot of things that are sort of auto-running from noise sources. So this is a good case to use, I think, this technique. We may not be able to avoid this resetting. It's a tricky one, I tell you, and it's just weird. This rate is so low. However, this thing is just going nuts. It's like it doesn't even, it's not even respecting the rate. Let's try, I'm gonna try this MIDI, this new version, and see what we get here. Yeah, this one seems a lot more put together. So maybe we'll just try this, and we'll change the offset so that, well, it looks like. So let's try mapping and see if this doesn't reset. We just needed some new tech in there, I think. Okay, cool. So let's try. It's almost like we've got 3 nice little drones coming out of our hybrid reverb. I think we could get one more going on in there. I don't see why not. We just change it to, what do we got here? We've got 178, 310. Well, we'll try 400. And let's move this up one. But now we need to remap things. There we go. Awesome. Okay, let's get an LFO to control this. Now, let's see if we can increase the rate of this just a little bit without resetting this. I think it considers if you do this really fast, it's the same as double clicking the stop button, and it kind of just, whenever you do that, it usually pushes this back to 1. We could even put an LFO on this rate. Let's kind of see if we can feel out what the highest we can go is. So far, so good. All right, this one I want to get a bit of a wow, so many things I want to do. Let's first get that LFO onto this. Kind of turned into a minimal drone. So let's just map to that and take the rate down. Let's take the rate way down just so this thing can I want to try to see what will happen if I get another one of these and I put it in here, and if it's always in the on position. Ah, I see. So this just follows. Because I was going to say maybe we could make a chain here, and so when we turn these off, this other one is on, so we can control the on better. But that might be a case of playing with the offset or the phase of this, maybe. Let's see what a little bit of reverb will sound like on this. That's the toughest part about doing modular stuff, or, you know, working on a track, and is trying to fine-tune everything, trying to get... Let's get some faster stuff going in there. Trying to get everything just right takes a lot of listening and patience. So many times I have to go back days, weeks later, and only then will I get the perspective of what really do I need to do here. Yes. Wanted to get the auto dial controlling the volume. So I think it's the D map. Play around with the knob you want to control and then hit map. Yes. Okay. Pull these all down. Let's get a little smoothing going. And fire away. Do the same thing over here. curious if we really push the high end what we get. Realizing now I need to create an audio version of this. This was only for MIDI. It'd be great to just drop one in here right before the effect you want to control with it. I like to keep the LFOs and map stuff kind of right before the things that they're mapping, just so it's easier down the road to like. I think this might be a case where we could automate this. This is true, but I kind of want something that runs independently of the transport, and the auto dial does that very well. So let's just auto dial it. Now, see, I wanted to map to the smooth. We didn't hit the D map first, so D map. Knob you want to control map. Probably needs to be edited inside of it. It's like something is set up to automatically be, it's setting in map mode right as soon as you load it in, I guess. Very strange. Okay, here we go. Kind of like the little glitchy clicks that come out of this when the gain is set high. Just say this EQ gain, and this will be DMAP. Let's clear this one, just adjust these a little bit, and we can also set these to create differences between these two. And let's map the frequency. Oh, nope, let's see, DMAP. There we go. Cool, yes, maybe I'll make an audio version of the auto map. And if I'm lucky, fix this weird mapping behavior. Maybe I'll do that for the next, one of the next sketches. Actually, let's ping pong this one. And what else can we? Now, the question is, can we make a beat that runs independent of this crazy tempo stuff? We could use an arpeggiator. That is going to follow the tempo. I think the only way to get away with this idea is to have a special sequencer that runs independently on its own. Or, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we could use the make note. Yeah, this is some crazy business, I tell you. The make note kind of runs on its own. Now, let's get that time up there. I remember we had a crash with this thing, so we have to make sure to be careful not to send notes too quickly in there. Now, let's... what kind of beat? Maybe I'm just thinking of a snare that kind of stays on its own tempo. Everything else is just so... All right. So 102, we could group this and also do the same thing. We could just duplicate this. And I think if we delete this and then undo, maybe they're both in sync at that point? So let's try replacing this with a hi-hat. Super basic. We could get the MIDI note. The MIDI note effect. Where did you run off to? I'm sorry, not note. MIDI echo, note echo. Yeah. Jeez, brain fried. And I definitely crashed live with this thing. Submitted a bug. We'll see if they fix it at some point, but yeah, let's play with these. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Gotta be careful. That's a tempo independent beat. It's kind of a mouthful, but I guess that is what it is. And let's move that inside of our group. Nice flams there. I kind of like that minimal stuff. All right. Very odd way of doing things, you know, with the pausing of the tempo and then just having, you know, trying to make a beat that just works outside of that. In a perfect world, I would have the ability to have tempos that, you know, were different for each track or something, or some tempo division, or. But let's just, you know, let's see what we can get with this crazy idea. Okay. I need a lot of auto dial love in there. And maybe like a bass, actually, now that I'm hearing it, like sort of just like a bass. So now we're just doing multiples of 500, I think. And maybe we'll try the kick and see if we can get kind of like a, I know the tom will do it. There we go, I like that subby. Could automate this time also. And we could map an auto dial to this and just draw in different sections of time. Let's get some auto dial stuff going on here. We definitely want to get this. And maybe, oh, there's so much we could do with this beat. We could get this. All right. Less talk, more rock. Let's get this thing moving. D-map and drive and map. I think this slows it down. Let's see. Slows this movement. All right. No, I think it speeds it up, actually. Okay, so let's... Yeah, okay, so let's clear that. The auto dial edit that I did is a little cryptic with those two boxes. But I think when you slow this down more, you want more smoothing, I think. Let's have this one control the note on and off. And we'll make this somewhere like in that range. D-map, map. And it's already set to record, so I guess. And since the note, I believe, the delay here is linked to the tempo. That's why we're getting some really odd timings with this thing, which is cool. Note delay on, off. Now let's try another one. We'll clear this, demap it. I want to map to this. Map, beat division. Okay. I feel like we're getting into like crash territories. So let's hope for the best here. Let me just be conservative in my movements. I'm not sending a ton of notes into this, which okay, saving, which I think was what was causing the crash before. Okay, now we need some of these to control the tonal aspects. Let's get some smoothing there, clear it. D-map. I'm gonna take out some of these higher sections. Let's try playing with some other knobs. And we can also get some our tone is, we don't want these low sections either. Okay, hi-hat stuff. Do here is actually get some automation going for this one, and let's make this much longer but an odd length. Ah, I see. Our transport on and off thing is going to prevent us from doing proper... So we'll just leave that one off for now. We'll hit shift space. Very cool. Very odd, strange sounds coming out of this one. Let's get in there and just pull up some of these grids off a little bit. Get our start point at some random junctions. Things are going crazy. I guess having the transport stop it and start it is definitely sort of helping with very abstract. So maybe this kick one has this resonant tone section, so maybe we need to tame that a little bit. Yes, our tonal beast. Cool. I'm liking some of the bizarre stuff coming out of this old school chorus. Let's try a bit of a tremolo in there with sawtooth. Awesome. Let's try compressing. Let's get a multiband in there and just get a sidechain going on the low end. Yeah, let's just I think if we click that high button, it basically kills. Ah, okay, good. Cool. So let's just get any low-end stuff here. Pushed down by the beats layer. Also same with this kick, just the low end. So that'll allow this bass to sort of prevail. And when there's no bass coming out of here, the bass in this track can come through. You can sort of hear it working. It's a bit extreme, maybe we don't want that much. Let's see, the snare will make it a little less. Ah, right, the idea of setting up an auto dial and controlling this time. And let's see if we can vacillate between 15 and 1000. Oh, crash zone. I am so glad that we did not crash. My gosh. It sounded cool. It was like its own special oscillator. Okay, so let's see what we got there. Yeah, we don't want that low stuff. So let's just draw a straight line. Forget what there's a... Ah, the line tool, yes. That's what we want. That seemed to... Does it work? Can you work? It's hard to draw a straight line here, folks. Not gonna lie. So we're around 1920, so let's see if we can maybe down this way. Honestly, I think the easy way is to map it. So let's demap this. Map here. Let's set the 1000 as the low and 1500 as the high, because I just want to go between those two. Now let's map to this. There we go. Now, all we need to do here then is have one low and one high. It should jump. And we could do in between if we want, but I think... Cool. Maybe we need some effects on this snare. And we can turn this hi-hat down. It may be a bit like too loud now. But it's close as far as the sketch goes. I mean, it's something. Let's see here. I guess we could turn this one down. So let's get an auto dial on that, controlling the volume. So this one is sort of vacillating in and out at our own whim. Demap, click and map. And record. Cool. Good to go. I think I want to get an auto dial on this decay here. So let's go ahead and map that. See if we can change the rate a little bit. Looks like everything's still good in there. But I don't think we want as many high, long. Just want to sort of keep it in between a range. And we could group this and do like what we did over here with the note length. Set the range via a macro knob. I don't feel like doing that. So we'll call this decay. Snare. Ooh, interesting, weird sounds coming out of nowhere. Snare tone. And let's demap, map. And these technically should just be right over here, right to the left. I like to keep things to the left of what they're manipulating. And no smoothing needed. Cool. So let's speed that one up a bit. Make sure we still got our... I think it's this one. If we change, we lose our... Maybe we lose our sections of this. Okay. Call this velocity on. I'm just hearing some effect needed on that. Maybe we'll try the... We could try the cabinet. We could try the redux. Give it a little more grit. The jitter does kind of add an interesting stereo quality. Let's get an auto dial on the redux. Oh, it's an audio effect. Bummer. Okay, so then we'll just keep it here. DMAP, rate. Definitely don't want it going down that low, so let's adjust these a little bit, clear it. That down, stuff way down there. All right, I think I'm satisfied enough with these for the purposes of this sketch. Now let's try some global effects on our crazy chain. Max, we could always do, you know, pitch and vibrato is always nuts. Interesting phase going on there. Let's just see what this does. Really psychedelic at this point. In fact, I'm thinking maybe on the ambience layer before the grain delay. Maybe we'll put it before this whole thing here. Add some more movement to the... Too much on the master one, I think. I mean, definitely hearing the latency when you I'm gonna have to make a mod of this that only does semitones and maybe has like a fine-tune one. I mean, it's just nice that you can get those microtonal increments. I mean, that just destroys it, honestly. Of course, now I just have to hear what a hybrid reverb sounds like in there. I haven't really played with enough of these. That's intense. Okay, let's see. Maybe we could shorten that. I like that very sort of small metallic room. Adds to the alien quality of this piece so far. Let's try phaser flanger. I do love the sound of these new ensemble chorus and phaser flanger. They are much better quality, but then again, just depends on what you're going for. Sometimes you need that lo-fi. Maybe a little, not quite what I'm looking for. Always a good time with these new spectral effects. I do love this setup right here. Re-trigger, high sensitivity, and I believe it's taking the threshold of the volume and triggering this based on your fade in, fade outs. Alright, let's turn this off. Actually, we do not need to group this anymore. So let's get rid of that. Let's see if we... It does seem to want to restart still. It's a tough one to avoid, I guess, when you've got... Let's try this. Maybe we also want a little bit more sidechain here in the mids. Now I'm curious what this sidechain will sound like only on this hybrid reverb. Now let's give ourselves a lot more decay. Seems to want to start over, even though this isn't starting from 1, so I am curious if setting this to legato mode fixes that, maybe, but maybe not. We'll see. Aha, oh no, no, okay, well. I guess that's something to keep in mind for the transport start and stop thing. All right, cool. Well, I think, you know, it's maybe high time to call it on this one. Of course, immediately I think of some other thing for this kick. Hybrid, what about just a little bit more bite on the kick? What about... It's more like a bass pulse at this point, but I do like that, just a little bit on the high end there. And we could boost that. There we go. All right, almost ready to call it on this one. Let's just get one more of these. A couple more of these. All right, let's pull that down a little bit. Clear it, demap. And go. Cool. Now we definitely want to play with this frequency here so that it's not always just statically set there. This will give the grit coming off the bass a chance to breathe a little bit. Whoa, that's too crazy. Let's clear that. And there we are. So maybe not so low. That was kind of interesting, but let's try that on for size. Also, this pitch could probably use just a little bit of just messing about with. So let's try that one out. Pitch, yay. Okay. Very dark piece. Do the back and forth. We'll keep this high end one out and maybe not so much low. And I do need to make another version of this that's a lot slower. I mean, it's still very useful with as much length of time as you get here, especially if you add a lot of smoothing there. Let's try, what does this envelope do? Cool, and just keep thinking of things. You know you're having fun with a sketch, and I'm already feeling better, you know, being under the weather, honestly, like, sketching makes me feel alive, I tell you sometimes. I'm thinking we do a multi-band split here, and just take the high end and run it through some kind of, we gotta group it, and we'll just run the high end through some stereo effect. Do a mid here. I should just have a preset for this, but it's pretty easy to make this one. And let's get our classic old school, well, actually no, for this one we're gonna, where is that? Chorus ensemble, yeah, we're gonna use the new one for this. And we can map the frequency knobs, the crossovers. since we don't have these on, we don't need to map this high here. So we're good there. Could also add another effect to this phaser flanger, even to this mid-range section. I just don't want it. I don't want any effects on the bass. Just want that to be straight up mono. If you're just releasing for digital or CD, you probably could get away with some crazy phasing bass stuff. Although, you know, you play it on some speakers that may cancel out, depending on where those speakers are set. Let's pull that off the beat. Cool. One last thing for the road. Can't stop, addicted. Must automate everything. All right. Cool. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna save it and just let it play out for a bit. But yeah, what a weird one. I was expecting just straight up ambient music, but you know, I can't help it. Messing around with beats is such an easy thing, and oftentimes lends to some really fascinating and bizarre results that I can't help but go down those roads with these sketches sometimes. Although at some point we'll have to do some more straight up ambient type of stuff. So I've been kind of missing working on some stuff like that, but I feel like with these sketches I'm just kind of going with the whim of the moment, trying to allow the sounds to inform the next moves, which is it's a good time. I don't think we need this one either. All right, cool. Until next time, keep it weird.